There is a truth about power that society will never teach you, because the moment you learn it, you become dangerous. The strongest men in history, the rulers, the tacticians, the ones who bend circumstances to their will, they were forged in isolation. Not because they feared people, but because they understood something the average man refuses to accept. Solitude is not absence. Solitude is strategy. A man steps away from the world not to hide, but to strip away every illusion that limits him. He understands that crowds drown a man in opinions, noise, and expectations. The crowd wants you obedient, predictable, emotionally fragile. But the moment a man disconnects from that noise, he begins to hear something far more powerful, the unfiltered voice of his own mind. In solitude, he meets himself without distraction. No compliments to soothe him, no criticism to break him, no social masks to protect him. It is a confrontation most men run from, because facing the truth of who you are and who you are not is brutal. But it is in that confrontation that transformation begins. A solitary man sees realities others overlook. He notices the motives behind people's smiles, the manipulation hidden in politeness, the traps quietly placed in obligations and relationships. When the average man is blinded by noise, the solitary man becomes sharp, observant, calculating. He sees patterns in behavior, weaknesses in character, and opportunities in chaos. This clarity is not accidental. It's the reward of silence. While others seek constant stimulation, the strong man uses silence as a forge. His mind becomes an armory where discipline is crafted, strategy is refined, and resilience is tempered. He builds himself the way a ruler builds a fortress, brick by brick, decision by decision, habit by habit. But society fears men who do this, because a man who is comfortable alone becomes a man who cannot be controlled. He no longer needs validation, approval, or attention. He becomes immune to flattery, hardened against manipulation, and indifferent to emotional traps. When a man stops relying on others to tell him who he is, he becomes someone the world struggles to predict or influence. And this is when solitude becomes dangerous, because a man who no longer depends on the crowd becomes a man the crowd can no longer own. He moves differently, speaks less, observes more. He chooses his battles with precision instead of impulse. His decisions are not pushed by fear or desire, but by calculation. People call him distant, cold, or difficult. But what they truly mean is this: he cannot be controlled. The world senses when a man has reclaimed authority over his own mind. His silence becomes a warning, his calm becomes unsettling. His independence becomes a kind of quiet dominance. Others don't know why, but they feel it, the shift in power. Solitude does not make a man soft, it makes him sovereign. It teaches him to think without influence, to choose without pressure, and to act without hesitation. It strips away the weak parts of him, the insecurities inherited from others, the beliefs implanted by society, the fears whispered by people who never built anything of their own. Solitude removes the borrowed layers of identity until only the essential remains. Most people don't realize how much of their mind belongs to others. They adopt opinions because they are popular. They copy desires because they fear being different. They follow trends because standing alone terrifies them. They wear masks so often that they forget their own face. But the man who embraces solitude removes every mask, first from others, then from himself. He sees people clearly, but more importantly, he sees himself clearly. And this clarity is rare, because truth is rarely found in crowds. Crowds reward comfort, not strength. They reward conformity, not originality. They suppress the very traits that create kings. That is why the strongest men do not emerge from groups. They emerge from isolation. In the silence, a man begins to recognize his own potential without interference. He sees the future he wants, the obstacles in his path, and the sacrifices required to claim his place in the world. He understands that greatness demands a price. Time alone, away from distraction, away from approval, away from the mediocrity that society celebrates. And when he returns to the world, he returns transformed. Not loud, not boastful, not seeking recognition. Instead, he moves with the quiet certainty of someone who has mastered himself before attempting to master anything else. This is the final truth that society hides. Solitude is not the retreat of the weak. It is the evolution of the strong. It is the final stage of power, the stage most men will never reach. Because most men fear being alone. But powerful men? They fear never discovering who they could have become.